Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the CBC Gem and Sasktel Curling Stadium live coverage from the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown. We are live here in Swift Current quarterfinal action this morning. My name is Sean Joyce, joined with this broadcast by Jeff Chambers, and we have a matchup already underway. Silvana Tirinzoni facing off against Penny Barker. Long day ahead for the teams hoping to do well here. So not wasting any time getting started. Lead stone's already in play. Good morning, Jeff.
Good morning. Yeah, looking forward to some great action today, and I know a lot of these teams, especially this morning, will be starting to feel the fatigue, but they're all looking forward to hopefully playing 3 different games today to get right to the finals. But it's been a hard pack, a lot of games being played already, so we'll definitely see how the bodies hold up here and if they can put some great shots together all day today.
Silvana Tirinzoni, one of the strongest teams in the world for a number of years now. They did have a couple of lineup changes this year. It's not uncommon. You've seen a lot of that as the Olympic cycle ended. Tirinzoni still calling the game, throwing third stones for this team. Alina Petz throws the fourth stones. That hit made by Carol Howard, who was one of the new players at second this year, and Briar Hurleman rounds out the team playing lead. Penny Barker, by contrast, one of the few teams arguably in the world that has remained intact this year from the team they played with last year, the reigning Saskatchewan champions from the Scotties last year. Penny Barker is the skip. Christy Gamble the third. This is the second. Jenna Angie and Danielle Sosinski throws the lead stones.
Yes, there's definitely been a lot of change up out in the curling world, and the Tirinzoni team here have 2 new additions to it, but they've been blending pretty well, and they're just coming off a big hot win at the Grand Slam event last week. So this team has been really melding. They're ranked number 1 right now in the world rankings, and they look forward to seeing if they could get another victory right here in Swift Current, Saskatchewan. But I know Barker's ready to throw everything at her that she can to prevent that from happening.
Interesting path for both of these teams getting here. They both lost their first game, and Tirinzoni went on a run through the B to qualify through the B event. And by virtue of that B event win, is the higher seeded team in this matchup. That's how she's got last rock here in the first end of play. Penny Barker lost her first 2 and then went on a roll. So both coming in here on a bit of a roll.
Absolutely. Here we just see an exchange of rocks in the first end, so nothing too wild. A little bit of a hit and roll out. Might have spun back in there and caught the back corner. They're going to have a quick look at that. First indication is that rock just stayed out of the rings by the looks of it, but they're going to come around involved and see if they can hide one under the center. Both sweepers on this pretty hard. They're trying to make sure it's there. Now they get a little bit of relief, so line's looking pretty good. Gonna see if they can make this in there. It looks like it's gonna come a little short though. Still a useful rock, but just a little short of the rings. This allows Penny to take advantage and see if she can hide one in behind those two. A little bit of early sweep just to keep it clean, so not too worried about it so far. Now they're going to get on it as the rock's starting to move pretty good on them. So they're trying hard to hold that line. And just didn't quite get on that soon enough, as they could have probably held that line as they just touched it, but now they got to kiss off, allowing for a little maybe hit and roll action, or they might just choose to draw straight in there to make sure that they get to top button. That looks like what the call is, so they're going to go to the draw and look to Alina to see if she can put one in there and get one hidden to see if they can generate multiple scoring end. Oh, that was a mistake. It looks like Silvana still had one rock to throw here yet, so caught them even off guard.
They're confusing me as well. So Tirinzoni with her final stone here.
Silvana with their final third stone throw. Girls are giving the sign that it's a little deep on this one. So they're just going to watch this. And Penny's going to jump in there. She can start sweeping at that tee line, but she is, and she got that to move out. So now an opportunity for Penny to draw in and sit two here and put some pressure on the reigning world champion. As you can hear by the background, there's quite a few games going on. Lots of action happening here at the Swift Current Curling Club. We're just so happy to have Sasktel Curling Stadium and CBC Gem being able to host such great action right out of Swift Current here.
Denny Barker looking for the come around, and the sweepers are really not touching this one either.
All right, great shot right to the button. So Tirinzoni is going to ask for Alina to see what she can do with this. There's a couple options. She can draw down and try to just do a baby tap on that one. And that's what she's decided to do. So she had a good look at the line last time, so she'll be able to follow this one down. Right, she's got a good look at this one. So little intern draw. And a beautiful little move there to get the little tap back, and hard to see if she shot rock. They're gonna look at that. Don't think she quite got the shot rock, but she'll have that opportunity. So Penny's gonna come in there and make sure she covers that spot up. Some good action to the middle of the rink here to start our action, that's for sure.
So Penny Barker without last rock, her final stone here in this opening end.
Right, we got a draw behind. It's coming down. This is going to tap this, and now we're definitely going to see that at shot rock for Tirinzoni. And I'm not sure she's going to be able to find a way in there to get her second point. So
No doubt who's got shot rock now, though. Are they looking at perhaps the slash? You might be able to kill all three reds, and then that yellow at the back.
all right, having a
Could be
good
the second
discussion
point.
here, trying to figure out if they can generate another one on the angle there to make that double. But right now it's looking like this is just going to be a single point, but they're definitely looking at this to see if they can get all the rocks moving and maybe bring that back one in the back 12 to count for the second point. So looking at the different angles, looks pretty protected right now though, for sure. This is one of those sometimes that we look and try for that wishful thinking,
At
but
whether or not.
they're going to give this a go. They don't think they can hurt themselves by trying this, so they're going to try to hit that inside and see if they can get everything moving and perform some magic. So if this one works and if they score a multiple end here, we're definitely going to make sure we hit the record and have this as a big highlight reel, because this is going to be one of those shots that you just don't get to see very often.
The Pats with their final stone here in the opening
This
end.
to curl, so let's see. They're going to
Looking for
catch
a
a piece,
slash,
shoot
triple.
it across, and yes, not going to change anything. So 1 point in the first end. We'll be back right after commercial with Tirinzoni up 1 over Penny Barker.
Hello everyone and welcome to the 2022 Western Showdown, the largest international women's curling event in Canada this season. We're so glad you've decided to join us to see some of the top female curlers in the world participate in this event. My name is Jim Grundy. I'm the branch director of RBC Dominion Securities here in Swift Current. Our branch is not only a huge fan and support of curling in our community, we're so proud to be supporting the Western Showdown for its inaugural year. RBC is committed to working with our community partners to promote and celebrate vibrancy in sport in the communities in which we live. Thank you to everyone from the Western Showdown team for putting together this amazing event. On behalf of RBC, enjoy the tournament.
We were both going over each other on the YouTube channel, so that was a disaster. But on the CBC feed, it was just me talking, and I couldn't hear you at all that end.
So a few technical issues there, but I think we've got those worked out now. Second end just about to get underway. Tirinzoni picking up the single point in the opening end of play, now throwing the center guard. Get us started here in the second. Penny Barker will look to come around that.
So we managed to see lots of rocks in play in that first end, and it looks like we're going to get an interesting end going here, as the first rock was out front and Penny choosing to come right in behind. And now we're going to see a little bit of rearranging or setting up of the stones to see if they can set up some good angles here for multiple scores and possible steal action. So they're going to do the in-turn draw to top of the 4 and see if they get that frozen onto the Barker stone. Trying to get it to curl over just at the end here, and looks like it's a little heavier than they expected, so they're going to just tap that back, and actually they're going to tap that right through. So going to work, keeping it fairly open.
Tirinzoni sitting 1 now, but it is open. Danielle Sasinski comes down, makes the hit, actually rolls past the guard and out into the open on the other side. Both teams here early in this second end struggling to find the line for the hit and roll. Rolls that one away from the guard ever so slightly, and doing some housekeeping, maybe found something on top of the rock. Not wanting to see that fall onto the ice and perhaps affect the path of a stone.
No, for the most part here, from talking to the curlers, they've been very happy. There's only been a couple games where they've been finding that there's been something that's caused a pick on the ice. So very happy, very nice, clean surface, clean rink. So yeah, but anytime you see anything, you definitely want to get rid of it, because the worst thing is to lose those stones to a dreaded pick.
Another roll well past the guard. Now it's deep enough in the house that Tirinzoni's just going to look to hit and stay right there. If she tried to roll behind the guard, she'd probably be out of the house.
Hard trying to hold this line out there, and it's just going to overcurl and another roll out. So gives the opportunity to Penny to drive one in here and try to get to that top 4 hidden position. A little bit of an early sweep on this, so the feel they need to get there for weight, and sounds like they need it for line too, so they're going to work this as hard as they can and see if they can get this in for at least a biter, if not further. So they're going to finish this up the best they can, trying to get it to curl as well. Managed to get that about quarter hidden behind that, so lots of room to get behind there. So Silvana's going to rip down and make sure she makes no mistake here and makes good contact, and probably just a little rollover.
Important here to try to hold the shooter, though. Doesn't want to give the Barker team another chance to make that draw, put it in there a little bit better.
No, absolutely. She's going to want to roll over to the open side there like she gestured, and that forces for a precise hit and roll if they're going to get hidden. So want to keep this as open as possible. Nice, beautiful slide and release, and something that the curling world's become accustomed to seeing Silvana throw, and just so solid of a thrower, and very few misses we're going to see. And here again, just a beautiful shot down there, easy sweep, and got the big nice hit and roll. So another solid shot.
Getting that roll so far from the guard, it looks like Penny Barker content to stay at the edge of the sheet for now. It would be a long roll to get under cover, and if you only got halfway there, you might hand the opportunity right back to Tirinzoni.
Yeah, Penny showing good patience here and knowing when she has to force the issue and not, and this is one of those situations to hit the standard no shot, but again, just having a little trouble figuring out where to put that broom, or could be a slight release issue. And so the girls are going to have to figure that out to make sure that they make those shots. And now this allows Alina to get her rock hidden behind the center. So no, it looks like Savannah's still up. Sorry, miscount on the rocks, but Savannah's going to see if she can get this buried behind the top four and put some pressure on Penny.
We have seen both teams struggle a little bit here early in this game to find the line for the hits and rolls. One thing about these competitions, typically going into a competition like this, the rocks are conditioned before you go in, and by the time you reach Sunday, perhaps that they're straightening out just a little bit, and they maybe need to tighten up the broom.
That's a very good point, Sean. We saw a little bit of that last night in the qualifier games, and they did paper the rocks on the Monday before the event, and the teams did get to practice, so they were using those rocks as well. So they've got a lot of wear on them, so it's definitely a chance that some of them are straightening out a little bit. So they'll have to be aware of that when they're icing for sure.
Still plenty of curl. You can see that one buried nicely, but yeah, it can be an issue when you're trying to get that very precise hit and roll at half an inch difference of curl is huge.
Absolutely. They see it even more with the hits that they definitely hold the line. We've been seeing the misses even last night, that most of the misses have been just a touch wide, and they keep trying to get that to curl up, but just straightening out just a tad, but they're still beautiful curl. No funny places in the ice. The girls have been loving the ice conditions. Jason Broughton and his crew have done a wonderful job, and especially at a club level, to have such great ice to play on is such a treat. And I've talked to lots of the teams, and they're just nothing but great things to say about ice conditions and their whole time here in Swift Current, Saskatchewan.
Christy Gamble pulls her stone around into the top of the 8-foot. It is shot rock, but about half open. Alina Petz making her way down to the hack's going to make a play on this stone, try to hold the shooter on the corner.
Very intent look by Alina coming out of there. The focus is pretty unreal on these girls, and when they go through, this one's moving a little early on them.
Yeah, they picked up the brush right out of her hand. It's
Something
all over the guard.
Yes, I think something, by the way, that looked and reacted early, might have grabbed early, because that really took off in a spot that doesn't really take off that fast. So yeah, it looks like they're cleaning up the ice behind there. So might have grabbed something there just after of course, I might have jinxed that a little bit, talking about the lack of the amount of picks that are out here, but looks like that possibly grabbed something. So that just definitely changed around the scenario here for the girls.
Does force a decision for Penny Barker. Do you try to come around the guard? That was her first thought. Or you could just draw open side. It doesn't look likely that you're going to pick up 3 here. The stone that's currently shot rock is open, so if you do bury this one nicely, Alina Pets will have a shot to cut you down to 1. The concern about coming around this corner guard is if you line up the yellow-red onto the one you're about to throw, you could leave her a chance to get both of them.
Yeah, in this situation, the concentration just where can we put this rock to avoid the possible double, because it's sitting really good to get your 2 points right back here. So we'll see if Penny can find that magic spot here with her draw. Early on, they like the weight. They're going to just do a light little sweep on this, so not too worried about the weight right now. It's just more about the line, and now they're going to try to hold the line.
I think it might have been the fact they felt it was strong, so played for the little bit of a rub. Comes out past the guard, does do the job in that they're sitting 2.
Well, this brings in an interesting situation here, Sean, because they
try
can
the double. It's very thin.
Yeah, they can see half of that stone, so they can see enough of it to make the double, but high risk, because if you ever came up and clipped yours, all of a sudden that's a 3-ender. So they'll probably take the high percentage shot here and just make sure they take out that short run and take out the red rocks there, and give Penny probably a draw for their second point. But
had Penny not moved that stone over, this little run might have been able to make a run double. And I think, and again, we don't have mics on the player, so it's hard to know for sure, but the way she's gesturing, I think Alina Pet's wondering if they can't still make the run double. Tougher now, you'd lose the raised stone. And I don't think they feel like they can get shot rock with the run, so they're going to play the hit on the open one, try to roll behind the guard, see if they can't get shot rock that way, and at least force Penny Barker to have to come after it.
yeah, definitely the higher percentage shot playing this one here. A couple opportunities to roll over, so not touching it early. So here we go now. So sounds like the line's coming pretty close where they want it to be.
By the front one.
Nice little roll.
Hit, looking for the rolling behind both of those stones at the center, and will catch it, maybe a nibble of the button. Open in the port, but it is going to be tough to go after.
This is a situation right back, Sean, that it's sitting there. It looks wide open, but it's not, because it's going to be curling either way in there, and it brings the risk of ticking their top red one, which is just edge on edge with that one, and that would be, well, it would give up a steal of 2 if that happens. So yeah, Penny's going to have a really good look at this to make sure where comfort level is.
I don't think there's any way to go after it without throwing some weight. There's no way to throw a gentle one in there.
No, the gentle would curl up too much at the end, and very hard for her to hold on to it at the end. So she's deciding to go with the outturn, and there's also that opportunity that they could have looked at just hitting that front yellow one right on the nose and run back. But in the second end, you don't want to have to hit those kind of shots to generate your deuce. So
yeah, that's a little dangerous there too.
Absolutely.
Now the stagger on those guards does make the outturn look a little bit more natural. The issue will be that she's coming across that stone and has to try not to curl too much at the end, or she could roll out. First things first, see if we can negotiate the port. Rushers staying close early now. They've been called on. Has to get by the long guard. Not going to get by the front one. So Alina Pets with a nice hit and roll on her final stone to the edge of the button. Picks up the steal here. in this second end. She'll take a 2-0 lead into the third.
Hello everyone and welcome to the 2022 Western Showdown, the largest international women's curling event in Canada this season. We're so glad you've decided to join us to see some of the top female curlers in the world participate in this event. My name is Jim Grundy. I'm the branch director of RBC Dominion Securities here in Swift Current. Our branch is not only a huge fan and support of curling in our community, we're so proud to be supporting the Western Showdown for its inaugural year. RBC is committed to working with our community partners to promote and celebrate vibrancy in sport in the communities in which we live. Thank you to everyone from the Western Showdown team for putting together this amazing event. On behalf of RBC, enjoy the tournament.
It was only my voice.
Welcome back. Sean Joyce, Jeff Chambers with you here from the RBC Dominion Security Western Showdown. Thank you for bearing with us. We've been struggling with a few technical difficulties this morning. It's not affecting the play on the ice. The players having a great game. Penny Barker, their final stone, just over curling clipped the guard, so it's a steal of one. Silvana Tirinzoni with a 2-0 lead as we begin play here in the third. And looking for the first stone into the rings. Penny Barker now will ask Danielle Sasinski to throw the corner guard.
Yeah, they're going to see if they can get things set up. Last end, Penny had a few opportunities to generate after a miss by the other team with a pick, and just couldn't get the rock in the right spot. And then Alina with a beautiful hit and roll to hide one in there on them. So Penny will recharge here and see if she can get the corner established, which she did, and see if she can generate an opportunity to see if she can bounce back with a nice deuce here.
This is our first opportunity so far in this game to see play to the corners, but having done a number of other games over the weekend, there's certainly lots of movement to the corners, and we've seen some high scores. Teams have been able to generate some big points. Tirinzoni, I believe, was looking for the tap back there, had the weight, didn't get the line to tap the stone back, but does sit two.
Well, this is showing some nice aggressiveness from Penny. It's pretty hard when you see a couple yellow rocks and they're sitting in front of the tee line and they're wide open, and not to take shots at that. Typically at the club level, you're every time you get a chance to rip at a double, you're doing it. But Penny's showing that she's going to use her corner to her advantage, and she wants to get one buried here and see if she can generate some offense.
This is looks like another plan B where they're playing to get the rub to try to get in behind. And just slides by, and by doing that, stays in the open. This is just the fifth stone of the end. They do have to be a little bit careful. If you clip the guard coming by, it would go back into place. This is a tight port. Going to throw some quieter weight at it, but they'd like to remove that red stone. Second is Carol Howard. Makes the hit gently through the back and rolls her shooter in partly behind her own stone at the top of the 8-foot. Now Penny Barker's going to have to start moving those yellows around a bit.
Yes, she's going to have to reposition those. Those are sitting very good for Tirinzoni. So Penny's going to see if she can move around and get her red rocks in front and get those yellow rocks out of there.
Jenna Eng.
Another plan B there. They're just having trouble finding that broom, so might have to tighten up here. Could be fatigue. It's been a lot of games in a short period of time, and especially this early in the season. So, gonna see if they can get their footing there to see if they can get on that broom, because it's just a few misses with hit and rolls, and they're gonna want to definitely get their rocks into the right spot here to put some pressure back on the Tirinzoni rink.
Does have to go quite a bit wider to play this hit. Onto some ice they may not have seen yet. Will make the hit and does. Hang the shooter on the edge of the 12-foot. So it's Tirinzoni sitting 3 for the time being. Nothing under cover. There is the one corner guard belonging to Penny Barker, and they're going to look to try to hit and roll behind that.
See if they can finally get that hit and roll they're looking for, but they're not going to. They're going to come up to the nose and leave it wide open here for Silvana to see if she can just basically replace this.
What do you think, Jeff? Is she trying a little bit broom side, or would she ever try to roll behind the guard here?
No, sure. Her indication, if this goes to plan B, she's just going to simply roll right onto the center line.
Just trying to make that roll back behind the corner for Penny Barker a little harder.
Yes, she just wanted this to, where she indicated was just a broom width over, just right to the center line. Just exactly where she tapped, so leaves the opportunity for the hit and roll, but you still have to be precise on that. So Penny's asking Christy here to throw a solid one down there, and they might play around with the weight a little bit to see if they can figure out how to get that line in the roll. So see if Christy can find that secret ingredient there to get that nice hit and roll. Jumped this early on there, Sean, so it's either it must be moving on them pretty good. Now they're backing off, and now they want it to curl, so changing shots a little bit. But look at this, they just missed the perfect roll. Got edge on edge though, but just a little miscommunication there in the house there on the line that they needed, and was so close, probably about a quarter of an inch from getting that the big roll in there to be completely hidden. So very close shot.
So Tirinzoni and the Hacks now will look to hit and roll back to that center line. All she's worried about here is trying to roll to a position where it makes that roll back behind cover as difficult as she can. You know, if you roll too far, Penny Barker will just try to draw, so has to make sure she holds this in the 4-foot somewhere. Actually looked like they played for the nose hit all the way, and of course that's high enough in the rings now that Penny Barker made the hit and roll off that. She wouldn't be shot rock.
Well, they've got to go to another plan here, so now they're going to try to group it over and maybe make the possible double over on the side, but more importantly just get their shooter over. And in a perfect world, I think Penny would just love to see this rock just cornered onto that yellow stone. got on this early. Trying to hold the line the best they can, both going hard all the way, so you got some roll. Is it enough? You're gonna work this over, and nice fine shot. Just didn't quite get all the way over, but solid all the same.
It is shot rocks, so Alina Petz making her way down is going to have to make a play on this stone. She'll likely look to hit this one right on the nose, and then Penny Barker, I think, with a hit and roll over, could probably get shot rock behind the guard. This one's going to be a little bit higher, but we'll see where it comes to rest.
A nice solid rock right down there. Got the nose.
Looking at the options, if you hit the high one and try to roll behind the corner, maybe you can't get shot rock on that. It might be too high. You could hit the shot rock and rolling behind the one that was just thrown, but that would make for a short run.
Not a lot of great options here, and they're having a really good discussion. And just like you had mentioned there, Sean, they're looking at where do they want to put this, and those are the two options they have. It's just which one would be better and which one would be easier to pull off at this point, because you need to get your either shot rock or second shot for this to give yourself any chance to score a multiple end.
Yeah, and I think you need to make sure that stone at the top of the 8 foot is gone, just to make sure you've got a clear path for your final stone. You want to make sure you have a shot to score. Penny looked like she was lining it up there. Can we make the double and the roll? But I think you'd have to hit the first one thin enough that you're probably losing your shooter if you play that.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I think they're just coming down there, so plan A will be just to get that roll
So
behind the
make
corner.
a play on a stone.
Sorry, go ahead, Sean.
Yeah, no, I think just looking to play the hit and roll in behind the corner, and may not be able to get shot rock. But even if your second shot buried, it creates a problem for Alina Petz. Picking up the brush early on this one. Definitely would like to roll here. This is really curling hard across that center line. Makes the hit and actually rolls in front of the Yellowstone, and that still makes that rock difficult to remove, so Alina Pet's going to have to play the draw.
Yeah, again, just the girls are just having trouble finding their line and just not getting the rocks where they want to. But this is not bad as far as, well, I mean, you're allowing Tirinzoni to split the house, but if there was ever a miss, that's a short run back for two red ones. So the girls, Tirinzoni's rink here, and as Alina throws, they're going to make sure they keep this path very nice and clean so that they can, got to make sure that they get in for second rock here.
And have to make sure they get this deep enough. If you leave this high in the house, you might leave a double off of it for two as well.
Absolutely.
It wants to be T-line here.
Looks like a straightforward shot, but you have to be very precise with this. So communication is going to be great between the girls, and they have an exact place they want this to end up.
Does come to rest, back four. No double there. Penny Barker just going to follow it down, try to get her single point with the draw. Barker's final stone here in the third end, trailing 2-0. Facing 2. Needing full 4-foot with her final stone to pick up the single point.
Solid sweep start to finish here, so
Close
they're
to this
going to
one
work
all the way
it.
down.
Yeah.
Had to wait a little bit for the line, and I'm not sure they got that far enough. It's close. I do think it is one red. Well,
Yeah, my first gut is looks like a red one, but they're going to call on a measurement by the looks of it. So Christy gambles off
close.
on a
It's
run
really
to go
close.
find that measuring stick. Typically what we'll see in measuring situations is the thirds will be involved so that there's not too many people surrounding the house. So one person from each team will have a look and do the measurement. Typically at the other events that they'll see when they go into the world and the provincial events is they have officials to do that, but here at these events the players do it themselves, and it's typically the thirds. So Christy was off to find it, and of course it's at the other end, so she's making her way down.
And as is always the case, whenever you need to do a measurement on a TV sheet, the measuring stick's always at the other end of the rink.
Absolutely. Christy making her way down, and so she's going to do the measurement, and not sure who will step in. Looks like Silvana will be taking a good look to make sure that they're happy with, make sure it's inserted into the center pin correctly, and then she'll oversee where the measurement goes. So Silvana is going to take over here. In this situation, you just want it to be touching the stone because you don't want to put any kind of pressure on it and accidentally move that stone. And this is a little different. Normally we see it in a clockwise position, but they're going to go with counterclockwise. Yeah. So changing things up. Christy wants a second look. This must be pretty close, Sean, if they're taking a second look at it. And now they're going to go around in the clockwise position, which is more typical for measurements. And they want to do it at a nice steady pace.
Well, it is close.
It is very close if they're taking a second look, and it's actually yellow. So yellow with another steal.
So we believe it's a steal of one there for Tirinzoni, and they will jump out to a 3-0 lead here after 3 ends of play. Penny Barker will have last rock.
Saskatchewan, you know Sasktel, because we're everywhere. Because being everywhere keeps us connected to you. With Sasktel sponsorships, we get to be part of your community. We're here with you, and we're here for you. It's easy to get started. All you need to do is apply. Sasktel cares. Always has, always will. To apply for sponsorship, visit sastel.com/sponsorships.
Voice from before somehow.
Fourth end just underway. The steal of one for Tirinzoni after the measurement gives her the 3-0 lead, and they'll call for the first stone into the top of the house. Penny Barker needing to generate some points here. We'll ask for the corner guard. Corner guard made. Tirinzoni asking for another stone to the top of the house now. And we'll have a a decision to be made by Penny Barker. She's probably already made that decision, but we've seen teams play this a number of different ways, whether they'll throw the second corner guard. She might come around.
Sean, do you think there's a typical magic number there for when teams decide whether they want to come around that single guard or throw up the double guard out there? In this case, I guess 3 isn't the magic number, but oh, they are choosing to go for it, actually.
It might be the fact that those 2 stones are in the 4-foot. You know, you got to deal with them at some time. This is a chance to do it here early in the end. And we are still early, just the 4th end. 8 end games here in play at the RBC Dominion's Western Showdown. Makes the hit, jams. The first stone does move it to the other side of the 4-foot. So it continues to be Tirinzoni sitting 1. They'll bring another one in. Just the 1 guard out front, the corner guard belonging to Penny Barker. Tirinzoni would like to keep the play away from that.
Penny's finally, she's going to look at the first indication was going for a hit and roll off that one. So they haven't been able to hide their rocks yet. They've been constantly chasing. So hopefully they can generate some offense by getting a nice little hit and roll behind that corner guard that's sitting in such a nice spot there. Just once again, just having trouble finding that line for the hit and rolls, and got onto the nose. So
just the nose hit again, and it gives Tirinzoni a chance to make a play on that stone. They're not looking for the roll behind the guard. They again want to keep the play away from that center guard, or pardon me, corner guard, as long as they can. Do want to keep the shooter in play, though. This is curling on them a little bit. It does stay right there.
very similar situation to just the last end, trying to get the same kind of rolls. So very similar setups.
Yeah, they're one good hit and roll away from perhaps setting up a deuce. But that has been the trouble, and really both teams, when it come down to needing to get precise rolls, haven't been able to find the line yet.
This one they're asking for it to curl up a little bit, so it's hitting a little thin right now, and again, just struggling with those lines. Just too many little misses to set up the aggression, and now that gives the opportunity for Silvana to be able to peel off that front, and it'll be wide open and nothing to hide behind.
Nothing to hide behind, and on top of that, by not even removing one of those yellow stones on the last one, you could be looking at a force. Had she at least removed one rock when she rolled out of play, the blank would be alive. Makes the peel and does roll across the top of the house without touching any of her own stones. So Tirinzoni continuing to sit two. Penny Barker, nothing to hide behind. Thinking about the freeze. Opting for a quieter hit on, I believe, going after the hit and roll towards the one on the 12-foot. Don't think this was a double. Certainly with that weight, looks like they're just looking for the hit and roll. Rushers have been on this most of the way down, and again, they're going to have another over curl. Gets right up to the nose.
At one time there, Penny was looking at a possible freeze to try to generate something and decided to go with a little bit of the safer shot and keep it somewhat open still. There's a chance at that possible blank. I know there is 2 rocks in play already, but they're only 1 double away from clearing that up. So the team decided with a few rocks to play that they would play it a little safer and see if they could generate that double along the way.
Tirinzoni now trying to roll to the other side of the center line, not to leave a double. And they're on this one early as well. This might come up to the nose. Well, it's a thin double, but if you want to play it, this might be your chance. Try to get out of the end. Or do you just hit and roll?
Yeah, well, they have both opportunities here, so this might be one of those that they throw it down there and decide if they want to go plan A or plan B as the stone's released.
I think if you're playing the hit and roll, you're probably playing it too quiet to make the double.
Well, with this way, it looks like they're going for the hit and roll, and they're on it early, which means it's moving up towards the nose. Got a little roll out of it, not quite as much as they like, but
would have liked probably another rocks width, then it would be hard for Alina Petz to roll away from that situation, and you'd have a straight back double for your next one. She's probably going to have some kind of a slash available. Decision she'll have to make if Alina Petz hits this right on the nose. Penny Barker will have a choice. She could play the slash double, or she could play the hit on the back one and try to roll behind the stone that's about to come to rest here when it hits. Well, I don't think a nose hit's in play. This took off again, and that is the same stone that she had trouble with last end. Now, they wondered if it didn't pick then.
yeah, they're checking the ice conditions, but you know what? They're gonna
that particular stone.
You might want to look at that. Yeah, if there's some sort of rough edge under there that's just grabbing something. So I definitely know if I was Alina, I'd be checking that bottom of that stone really well to make sure there's nothing there, because yeah, we haven't seen too many picks out here on this ice, and nor do we normally, and so yeah, they're gonna definitely want to take a good look at that. And now she's looking over that she's gonna have a good look at it right now and see if there's anything out of the ordinary on there. Well, that was a pretty quick look there. I think I would have spent a little more time checking the surface of that rock.
Well, it certainly swings the momentum in a big hurry in this fourth end. Penny Barker was looking at being forced, and now suddenly has a chance to split the house and try to pick up her deuce here in the fourth end. Get this game a little closer. Just needs to be deep enough with this one so that she doesn't allow an opportunity for the double. Does sit too flat to play a double. Alina Petz, I think what they're looking at, if they hit this on the nose, would they be shot rock? And if they could get shot rock with a nose hit, Penny Barker wouldn't be able to hit it on the nose again. She'd have to play for a bit of a role.
You see Danielle taking the extra time to come all the way down the ice, so as if they haven't had to do enough sweeping in the last few days, but she's going to make sure that it's a nice clean surface for this rock. So just tremendous shape that all these athletes are in with the amount of sweeping and body stress it takes to constantly do all this sweeping. It's pretty amazing what they do.
Nothing out of the brushers on this one. She makes the hit, but needed to roll just a little bit to the inside to get shot rock. It is Penny Barker sitting shot rock right now and a chance to draw. She'll need full 8 foot to pick up her second point. Oh, one little miscue here from the Tirinzoni team. Penny Barker with a chance to capitalize and pick up the first deuce of this game.
Yes, things can change so quickly. Be patient, and you never know what happens. And she's taking advantage of this, and hopefully can throw a nice, solid throw here and pick up her deuce to start the battle back.
Final stone from Penny Barker on the way. Needs full 8 foot for her deuce. Brusher's just cleaning it in. It will come to rest. On the edge of the button, she does pick up her 2 points. Penny Barker on the board with 2 in the fourth. Tirinzoni continues to lead 3-2.
Sasktel Be Kind Online wants to stop cyberbullying. Want in on the action? We award up to $1,000 for youth initiatives that help spread kindness and prevent bullying. What great idea do you have to help stop bullying? Sasktel can help. Go to BeKindOnline.com and apply for a grant today. Together, we can make a difference.
Had some questions about if our houses are painted or they logo. Our events are always painted houses, but in the future coming out, I'm pretty sure we're going to be going to all logo houses. They're a great revenue source for any curling club. You can get your advertisements on there, and usually after the first year, the houses are paid for. It's all free money for you. So hopefully check Jet Ice out for your future in-house logo.
Welcome back, everyone. Fifth end just underway. We thank you all for bearing with us. I understand we've been having some technical issues with our audio this morning, but we'll do the best we can. Penny Barker, doing the best she can, picked up a deuce in the fourth end to close within 3-2, looking for the center guard here, and they've got that. Tirinzoni with a 1 point lead in last rock as we begin play here in the fifth end, asking for the stone into the corner of the 12 foot. Comes to rest, biting back 8 foot. Penny looking for the hit and roll here from lead Danielle Sasinski.
Asking this to curl a little bit. It's just hanging out there on them a little bit. Or maybe a lot. So just an unfortunate miss there. Just got it started outside and just couldn't get that back in.
Chance now for Tirinzoni to split the house. actually thought she might play this to the same side because it will be in the way when they try to peel the guard later on. One of the two of them will be anyway. Tirinzoni sitting 2. Jenna Engie going to make a play on the stone that was just delivered. Makes the hit, rolls towards that center guard, but just fully open yet. Howard looking to make the play on that stone. Didn't see the indication, but I would think they want to roll away from the center guard. They do want to hold the shooter, however.
They definitely rolled away, but a little too thin and rolled out on that one. So opportunity for Penny to clean up house a little bit and get rid of the other yellow one and see if she can get a little bit of roll over towards that center guard. Even though it'll be at back at the house, it's still be nice to have that red rock back there.
This time makes the hit and rolls in behind cover. It is behind the tee line. Tirinzoni wants nothing to do with playing the house on the center line. The fifth end going to peel the center guard. So now just the one stone in play, that stone belonging to Penny Barker. Back of the 8-foot. She's going to look to guard that.
Fantastic shot there to cover that shot stone up with a nice tight guard. So Silvana wasting no time putting the broom down and zipping down to the other end. She's just going to have to peel off that front guard. She just does not like that spot for that rock to be there. See Penny want to replace this rock right away. Ask for the same shot down there. While this rock comes to the rest, I can give a little bit update on the other games that are going on over on the other sheets in the qualifier matches this morning. We have Grandy up 2-1 over Peterson. They are in the 5th. We have Ackland up 2-0 over Yoshimura, and that's also in the 5th. And the other game also in the 5th, so everybody at the same time. We have Team Jim over Constantini 2-1. So a lot of close, tight games here for action as we enter into the second half of all the games from the qualifiers. So some great action left today.
Apologies, audio difficulties continue. I think I'm back with you now. Lena Pets with the double. Or pardon me, Silvana Tirinzoni with the double on her final stone of this end. Just the one stone in the house now belonging to Tirinzoni. Penny Barker will have to make a play on it.
Yeah, that was a terrific double to bounce back there, and Penny was trying to maneuver her stones around to avoid that, but just came a little too deep and give that opportunity, and Savannah and her team wasted no time trying to get rid of both those rocks. So now we're going to go back and forth and try to basically replace rocks here, and we're going to probably see a great attempt at a blanked end by the end of this. As Tirinzoni would love to probably, in this situation, retain hammer going into the even 6th end.
She'll have to roll a little bit on this one just to make sure she's got a bite of the 12 foot. If you hit that right on the nose, Penny Barker will come around it. So Lena Pets with her first stone here in the 5th end. And to make the hit, would like to get the shooter into the rings. And it does look like she's got a bite. I think it's close.
Yeah, it's very close, but
Penny Barker thinking it might be out.
Yeah, Penny's thinking about coming around, even if it is biting. But yeah, if it's biting, you'd think you'd try to hit nose and stay there for a possible guard. But she's going to take the aggression and try to tuck around
this
that.
Is Penny's last. This is Penny's last. If she's going to hit it, she's going to hit and roll in. But
True, she must see that outside. So let's see if she can hide that.
Come around. As long as you bury, even if it is a biter, the run back won't hurt you. She's got to bury this. Now the other thing is, if you think it's out, you can't really flirt with it coming by, because if you ever touch it, you could put it in. So Penny Barker with her final stone here in the 5th end, trailing by 1, looking to see if she can't at least get a force here. Try to bury this in a 4-foot area and perhaps get a steal. Coming around a stone that's just outside the edge of the 12-foot. Plenty of room by that front stone. They're okay if this goes deep. They'd like to get a force. Comes to rest back 8 foot. Now it really matters whether you think that stone at the top is in or not. You can make a play directly on the back one. If they thought they were in at the front, I think you'd see them take more ice, play it quieter, try to stay. With that broom, I have to think they're playing for the blank here.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking too. They looked at it over top a little bit, but didn't take a lot of time. So I believe that both teams think the front one is out. So this will be just a hit and roll out blank attempt.
We might see the biter stick come out regardless. Let's.
They're gonna ask first. They almost kicked that off. Did
Pets
you
with
see
her
that?
final still makes the hit.
Yeah. We'll see if they're gonna kick that off, and so we got a blank end.
So the score remains 3-2 for Tirinzoni after 5 ends of play. Penny Barker will be looking for the steal when we come back for the 6th.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 2022 Western Showdown, the largest international women's curling event in Canada this season. We're so glad you've decided to join us to see some of the top female curlers in the world participate in this event. My name is Jim Grundy. I'm the branch director of RBC Dominion Securities here in Swift Current. Our branch is not only a huge fan and support of curling in our community, we're so proud to be supporting the Western Showdown for its inaugural year. RBC is committed to working with our community partners to promote and celebrate vibrancy in sport in the communities in which we live. Thank you to everyone from the Western Showdown team for putting together this amazing event. On behalf of RBC, enjoy the tournament.
Back up and yeah, no, so. Right, back into action in the 6th end here. We had a blank end, so Tirinzoni remains with the hammer, coming to the even 6th end. Penny put a nice, called for a nice tight guard out front, and now they're going to take action behind. Just getting a little update on the other games that are going. A lot of tight matches out there. So some great curling, being able to be watched by everybody here in Swift Current and all the travelers that decide to come to Swift Current to check out the action. And we also welcome everybody out there, thanks to the Sasktel Curling Stadium and CBC coverage, for being able to watch some great curling right here in Swift Current, Saskatchewan from all around the world. So just fantastic to have this opportunity. Right, attempt at the draw around freeze there, but just comes up a little bit short. But still, rock's in great place, very usable being right out front. Tirinzoni's going to call for the come around on the wide side. Sweepers are on this. They like the weight. Alina's calling out that it's pretty good, so they're going to brush this up. Catching the late curl. They want this to curl a little bit more. Nice solid shot, but definitely showing a big piece of that. So Penny will probably come down and try to bump that around and reposition them. Just depends on the type of weight she wants to throw on that. Looks like we're just going to throw hack and see if she can get to the nose and just bounce it back, and see if she can create some kind of wall there to make it difficult to get her red stone taken out.
Tirinzoni's putting through. Play on the stone at the top of the 8th, but I don't know that they're looking for the roll under cover or the double here.
Actually just called for hack there, Sean. I know you had some technical difficulties there and we just got you back, but they were just calling with the hack weight, trying to bump that yellow back and create kind of a wall. So just wanted to move things around to make it a little different, and mission accomplished. They definitely moved it around, maybe a touch more weight than they're expecting, but good shot. Get theirs in play in front of that tee line.
And that was the 5th rock of the end, so now Tirinzoni has the option to start moving those guards, and I think she'd like to see that center line clean a little bit. Looks like the double peel attempt here, and if you hit this right, it could come back and clip that stone at the top of the 8 foot as well.
Lots of movement there, had lots of rocks in play, just like you had mentioned, and so all clean out front, just the 2 rocks in the house remaining. So Penny's gonna say, I'd like to guard that up, that one in the full 8. It's not shot rock, but if she can protect that, it's in a great spot, and she wants that to remain there for as long as possible.
Shot stone is the yellow stone belonging to Tirinzoni at the back of the 8 foot. Penny Barker looking to protect second shot right now.
Yes, this game of curling is a lot about patience. It's not always going after shot rock, but a lot of times if you can control that second or even third rock in the house, you always set up the ability to generate some offense, and you just hope that you get an opportunity to get at that shot rock as rocks come down. But sometimes you got to be patient and just wait for your opportunities. That's exactly what Penny's doing. So great job so far. And Tirinzoni did not want any part of that guard, so she called for to take that out, and now Penny will want to replace that. And
we talk about this from time to time in the broadcasts. This can come down to an issue of timing. It's Penny Barker is protecting second shot, and she will continue to do that for a while. Tirinzoni will continue to peel the guards. There comes a point in time, though, where Penny Barker has to make a decision. Do we hit that back stone and try to play for the force? When you do that, you're going to leave a double and perhaps a chance for the blank. You don't want to do it too early. If you do it too late, Tirinzoni might just decide to come around and take 2 here. So a little bit of game of cat and mouse is always fun to watch.
Absolutely, it's a beautiful game. There's a lot of gambling involved. So Silvana's not taking any chances. She can see half of that stone, but she would have to come down with some pretty light finesse weight, and the jam possibility is too big. So she just decided that she's going to peel this, even though it's a pretty high guard. She's going to peel that and keep a nice open look for now.
Does make the peel on the guard. This might be the shot where Penny Barker has to make a decision. If you throw one more guard, does Silvana Tirinzoni come around on the next one? That's what Penny's thinking. So they're going to hit the one at the back now. For a lot of teams, that would be the decision point. Is, you know, you've got 3 rocks left to the other team's 2. We're going to come around. Penny Barker knows that. Doesn't want to give up 2 here, wants to play for the force. Needs a bit of a roll to the outside to make the double difficult. But has to hold the shooter. Oh, that's nicely done.
That's a beautiful shot there. So sets up the chance for the double, but every time you have that kind of separation, that's definitely not an automatic for sure. She's going to have to really throw a good stone to be able to get this, and Alina's lining up that angle to have a good look at it. So they'll give this a good go, and Penny will sit back and hope that she has an opportunity to apply some more pressure.
Well, yeah, it's the angle that makes this one so difficult. You've pretty much got to commit to losing your shooter here, and if you don't get the double, Penny Barker will split the house, and she'll have her force. No way to make this double without losing the shooter. Sweep call's been close. Makes contact and does spin it out the back. Shooter goes as well. There's that one Yellowstone just with a piece of the back line still in play. And that'll be all that Penny Barker has to use. She'll try to draw in front of it somewhere. Hard to tell from the overhead camera angle if you dead jammed on that stone, it might still be out of the rings.
Penny's decided to go wide here, try to put it in a new piece of the ice that they might not have had much of a look. Anytime you get it out that wide, it brings the possibilities of possible misses. So she's gonna try to find a little bit of an open hiding spot over there. And
Rushers picked this up early. Backing away a little bit now.
well, I think that surprised the sweepers a little bit. I think the way they were sweeping, they thought that was right on the tee line, but slid to the back without any problem. But you might see that back rock come into play now, Sean.
Yeah, I think that's where they were trying to put it. Get in the neighborhood of the back stone. And again, I'm not sure. I think if they hit it and dead jammed it, it's probably out of the rings. But if you ever got just a little bit past the nose, jammed it to the center line side of that rock, it might roll into the back of the 12. A little hesitation from Alita Petz in the hack, so it does appear that it at least puts something into her head. For Penny Barker, that's really all you can do in this situation is force them to think a little bit, maybe make them uncomfortable throwing this shot. You need just a little bit of a miscue here. And Alina Petz hasn't given them much so far. She's had a couple of rocks pick on her, though. Makes the hit, does jam it, it stays out of the rings. So this Tirinzoni sitting one right now. Now if, I think they spilled just a little bit farther out too, so even if Penny's able to roll in front of that, again, I think a jam would be out of the rings.
Yeah, I think it got a touch closer, but yeah, it definitely would have to be a perfect jam, and then still might not be enough. But first things first, make contact, sit your red rock there, and make them come at you. Good solid shot by Penny there, and
Takes the hit.
Now they're going to ask Alina to peel that out of there, and we might have another back blank end.
Alina Petz with her final stone here in the sixth end, looking for the blank. She will make the hit, does roll the shooter out. We've got a blank here in the sixth. Tirinzoni continues to lead by a score of 3-2, and she'll have last rock again in the seventh. Welcome back, everyone. Sean Joyce, Jeff Chambers with you through some trying audio difficulties here from the RBC Dominion Securities. Western Showdown. Quarterfinal action here this Sunday morning. Silvana Tirinzoni with a 3-2 lead as we begin play here in the 7th end. She does have last rock. Penny Barker with the center guard up, now looking to come around. Plenty of room by the guard. Pressure's had to wait on the line there just a little bit and comes up, I think, just short of the rings. Now they might want to make an agreement on that because she can see half of that, might decide to make a play on it, and they are going to ask for the biter stick. They can't decide for sure if it's in. This is the one situation in the rules that does allow for a measurement in the middle of an end. You have to determine if that rock is in the rings before you know whether or not you're allowed to hit it. So they will use the 6-foot measure.
It looks to me like it's
looks like it
outside
was
of the
out.
rings. Yes, so they're not going to be able to remove that from play.
And that means the come around for Briar Hurleman. Tight by the high guard, tight by the tight guard, and comes to rest nicely, top of the 8-foot, dead buried. That's a good draw. Nice way to start this end for the Tirinzoni team. For Penny Barker, though, happy to have some rocks in play. Needs to either get a force or a steal here in the 7th end. Can't not afford a blank end.
Thinking about coming with a wide out turn here so that they can tuck around there. That's a hard rock to get around, seeing it is in the 8-foot. A lot of times we'll see just a corner freeze on that top yellow to leave your red rocks in front of it, but Penny's going to try to kind of get this at least half hidden to make it a little harder to remove.
That was interesting. I don't know if you noticed that or not, Jeff. They when they decided they're playing the come around here, they've switched stones. So it's possible that Jenna Aggie feels like she's got one stone that curls a little bit more. When they're trying to play a come around on a stone at the top of the 8-foot, that's probably the rock you want.
hard on this one, so let's see if they can hold that line and get it tucked around. Last minute call off, so then change minds, keep it in front, and a little bit of a bounce off.
Just got caught in between. Stone in the rings is open, but the guard's a bigger concern for Tirinzoni's. Looking for the peel. Just looking to get the one guard right now.
Nice light brush down, so good solid shot. Got the peel and removed all the rocks, so much more open look, and we'll figure out where Penny wants to situate these rocks, whether she wants to get another guard out front, or looks like she wants to get the action to group up in the top of the house here.
Well, there is a pocket formed between that red-yellow at the top of the 8-foot, so if she can sit in that pocket, this stone, well, it wouldn't be shot rock. There'd be no chance for Tirinzoni to remove it for a while, and you could at least stay out of the blank situation that way, but this might be coming up a little bit short as well.
Well, being a tighter guard here, and they don't like their guards up front, they might take a crack at trying to do a combination of some sort to move around a couple of the reds, and that's what she's looking at right now, which way she wants to run that or take an attempt at a double. So Lena's going to come down there and have another look at it too, because this is an opportunity to move multiple rocks at one time.
Yeah, the only thing is there's a little bit of risk when you're running it, and that's what Tirinzoni's looking at. If you try to run it at the rock that's in the 8-foot and you ever run it past, you could jam on that stone at the back 8 and leave Penny sitting 2 in the rings. Problem with trying to double peel the 2 center guards is you're probably leaving your shooter right there. So they're going to opt to peel it towards the red in the rings, I believe. I think if they were playing this, they might just be playing the straight peel, just picking over the top of everything. I think they were calling to pick it over the top of everything. Doesn't manage to get it past their own, but does roll it out of play.
Yeah, the initial call was they're trying to hit it thin and put it across the top, and she just started that as you heard they called the sweep on right away. So she just pinched that a little bit when she let it go, and unfortunately for them, they got not a total jam, but took their own rock out of play. So Penny will figure out where she wants to put another one. It looks like she wants to half tuck this around that yellow. Girls are on this right from the beginning and sweeping all the way, so fatigue will be setting in here right about now, and the girls are wondering where is that house, and there it is. So just a hair light, 2 more feet, and they would have had a beautifully buried rock there. Still in play, still in a great spot, and definitely going to get Silvana thinking. So they've called their shot. They know what they want to do. Looks like they're going to come off that red rock and make a double by hitting almost right in the middle of that red and yellow rock. light early sweep. They're looking for this to curl up. They've got one, and they managed to run into the other one and just knock it out into the opening, leaving two of theirs in the middle behind red cover. So Penny will figure out a way to access this. She could go for the double across the top. It's quite thin, but I think she's going to want to try to make sure that she keeps her red rocks in play. So she's going to come down and just bump that yellow rock back. All right, just figuring out the weight here and see if they can bump back that yellow right through the gap there and have 3 red rocks remaining close by to use and access. Just a light sweep means they're really close to the line they want. Nice solid shot. Unfortunately, they're going to lose that shooter. It just hit that a little bit thin and ended up grouping their 2 red rocks together. So they're going to look at the angles here if there's a double or if they're just going to simply hit and roll over. So this will be probably a fairly quick chat between Alina and Silvana to figure out what they want to do with this and figure out the weight, because they would like to be sitting there 2 yellow rocks after this. Tirinzoni rank throwing very solid so far, showing a big reason why they're ranked number 1 in the event and coming into this. But Penny, even though they're ranked 100, they are, it's a David Goliath story, but Penny is putting up a great battle and putting up some great shots with her team, and it's been a close one. So there we got a little jam on the red one. So this gives the opportunity for Penny to come down, hit, split the rings a little bit, and sit 2. Thus probably putting on the force, which she'd be happy. Obviously a steal would be ideal, but in this situation, if you can force the Tirinzoni rink to 1, then we only have a 2-point game going down to the end, and very doable, of course, in this curling, especially on the great ice that we're fortunate enough to play on. Said it earlier in the commentary, but the ice conditions have been absolutely fantastic. Jason Broughton and his crew here in Swift Current can put together world-class ice. The Swift Current Curling Club is very fortunate to have 6 amazing sheets of curling ice. It's a very, very clean building, and the ice surface is fantastic. It leads for great shot making, and the players can all trust it. So big reason why we see so many great shots and great setups of ends. We got the nose and a little moving over, and she did manage to match up the rocks. They are somewhat close together, but a little bit too flat for any kind of double. So mission accomplished by Penny on that throw. So got a good high 5, and she'll be very happy with this result. And now Lena and Silvana are figuring out where we can hit and roll a rock to, as they don't want to force, they still want to try to get their deuce out of this. So they're going to try real hard to see what they can maneuver here to get shot rock and partially hidden. Lena with their throw here. The sweepers are touching it. They want this to curl, so must be a touch outside of where they ideally wanted it. See if they can get some kind of roll, and they've got mostly a nose hit, so Still a good shot. They still got to figure out where Penny can put this to avoid any kind of double, to give up a multiple end. She would love to walk away with a force. So by the looks of it, a little hit and roll to the slight bit outside would probably be ideal, but she's looking at her angles. So her last show there with her broom is just to get a little bit of an outside roll, try to match those red rocks up, avoid any kind of double, and force Tirinzoni into seeing if Alina wants to draw against 2 or do a hit and roll. So be decision time coming up shortly, but first things first, Penny's got to throw a good one down here and just get a slight little roll. And put some pressure on Alina for her stone, for her final stone. All right, Penny's making sure she cleans that surface really well. They've been fortunate they haven't had any picks, but there has been a couple in this game already. Alina's had 2 of them, but for the most part, like I've said, the ice surface is very clean, so very rare to have picks, but you don't take anything for granted. You want to make sure that stone is very clear. The front end had made sure the slide path was all cleaned up, and now they're going to be on this the whole way, so they're going on this hard, trying to hold that line. Usually meaning it's curling up on them, so let's see if they can hold this. And they managed to hold it, but now there's going to be an opportunity at a double opportunity. So Alina and Silvana will talk very closely here if it's worth going for the double and getting a 2-point, which would be a huge 3-point advantage going into the last end, or whether they wanted to draw for 1 to go up by 2, but they've decided that they're going to go for this double. They feel that it's a good percentage shot to hit half a stone here and walk away with their 2. So that's the call, and here we go. Beautiful balanced slide and release that we've come to see Alina do in so many situations. And she threw this, got the double. She's gonna roll out though, so it ends up being a single, so good contact, but going up by 2. Penny Barker with the hammer going into the 8th end, down by 2. Should be a great battle. We'll see you after commercial break.
Sasktel Be Kind Online wants to stop cyberbullying. Want in on the action? We award up to $1,000 for youth initiatives that help spread kindness and prevent bullying. What great idea do you have to help stop bullying? Sasktel can help. Go to BeKindOnline.com and apply for a grant today. Together, we can make a difference.
Okay, we're back in action in the 8th end of curling here at the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown, where Swift Current's lucky enough to be hosting a lot of world women's curling teams. World number 1 right now, Tirinzoni rink, is up by 2 going into the final end of play over Penny Barker of Saskatchewan. So a great matchup so far. Penny's going to try to get up the corner guard and do whatever she can to set up a possible 2 or ideally 3, but right now I'm pretty sure that if they can just figure out a way to generate their 2 points and take it in an extra, I think Penny would take that right now. So they're going to throw up a corner. Looks like it's about halfway, or better known as the zone number 2. For the people that use the zone numbers, number 1 is just over the hog line, number 2 is halfway, and number 3 is a tight guard. So typically we'll see those corner guards in the middle or the number 2 position. And so first shot there, and now we're gonna see Danielle Szynski Briar Humelman try to bring this in, keep it a little clean in the middle. So Briar with a nice pair of rocks in there, put some pressure on Penny. Now they're seeing 2 yellow rocks in the house above the tee line. Penny's going to ignore those for sure for a little while, and she's going to try to get around there. So a lot of times in this situation, when you're needing that too, especially in the 8th end, you'll see a second corner guard. It just depends on the team's strategy, and they discuss this going into the game, so they're all on the same page whether they're going to throw a second corner or come around that corner guard. And so you can see the Barker team has decided they're going to come right in, and they'd like to get that rock inside rather than throwing the second corner. So again, everybody has their little bit different strategy to talks. This one's holding on them, so they're going to try to bump, but didn't quite get that. So had a little bit of trouble on their alignment there, and not sure if that was a release issue or just had too much ice, but left that in the open. So Tirinzoni's not going to waste any time in being able to take that out. So one of those advantages of maybe if they would have thrown another corner, at least they wouldn't have been able to touch that that rock and had a secondary rock to play with. But
that is one of the things we've seen Penny Barker's team have to do already this game, play for the little rub to get in behind. Not able to do that this time, so it does leave the stone accessible for Carol Howard to try to make the hit. Tirinzoni trying to roll that stone out of play. They don't want anything in play right now if they could avoid it. They're going to be able to start peeling guards on the next one. Jenna Angie will look to come around that corner guard before it gets peeled.
Trying to get this to curl up a little bit. The team has struggled with finding that line and getting it hidden basically the whole game, which is a big reason why there's only 2 points on the board by them. They haven't been able to kind of maneuver their rocks into the right hiding spot. It seems like every time they're close, they're always showing a piece of it or showing the rock, which is able to get out. So that one is pretty good and buried, so gets them to peel the corner guard here.
Yeah, if anything, maybe just a little bit sneaking out on the side past the guard, but Tirinzoni will look for the peel and removes the guard, but leaves the shooter as a guard on the other side. Penny Barker with something to work with now. Yellowstone at the top of the forefoot continues to be shot. Penny Barker has second at the back. Looking to perhaps make the hit and roll behind cover. Not really looking for the double. I think if you make the hit and roll in behind, you're probably jamming the top stone, but you'd sit second and third. Shot rock would be open.
Yeah, in this situation, they're pretty happy. It might be a yellow rock out front, but it's still a guard and something to get behind and cause a little bit of grief. So Penny will try real hard to get this little roll underneath and start generating some offense and possibilities at a multi-point end.
Needs to get past the nose of this stone if she's going to roll underneath. I think they had to go plan B at the end. You didn't want to hit that on the nose. The double attempt probably jams on the red, so they just drive it by, stay in front of that Yellowstone. That makes the red difficult for Tirinzoni to remove. She could make a play directly on the back one, or do you play the slash double? And I think that's what they're talking about.
Well, if they stay to the strategy they've been doing so far this game, I'm going to see them go up and typically try to do that slash double, but there we go. See, they're changing it up. They've been very successful on those doubles too, but they're decided to go after that shot rock and sit 1 and 2.
It's safer to hit the back one, and I think the other consideration is they're worried if you try the slash, don't make it, you've left a fairly routine hit and roll in behind. Now, not that hit and rolls have been easy today, but Penny Barker makes the hit and roll behind cover off shot rock. Now you're in a little bit of trouble. At least she's still got to deal with shot stone when you do this. Makes the hit, stays right there. Tirinzoni sitting 2.
Well, Sean, it's looking like they're looking at making a play already on that red-yellow stone. Not sure if that's a little early to do that yet when they have the opportunity to draw around that somewhat corner guard, but
yeah, I don't think she's making the play on the yellow. It looks almost like she's playing the split, just to try to open up shot rock, and the shooter would go behind cover. The only problem with trying to split it like that, you sure don't want to leave a double on the reds. I might be with you, Jeff. I might just play the straight draw.
Yeah, a little bit of a gamble here, but I guess we are in the 8th end and you can't hold too much back. But yeah, an easier shot definitely would have been the draw around. But they're going to try hard to, like you said, get that split and hopefully get partly behind that corner.
Boy, really working hard on the brush to make sure she got a piece of that stone. Critical to get a piece, because with that weight, had she not got a piece of the stone at the top, might have been right through the back. Gets the split. It appears to be, and I think she's got second and third out of it. Second for sure at the top, I think. Third's really close.
That was a very impressive shot that worked out, and creativity by Penny to try to maneuver the rocks around, and they definitely got the separation they needed, and going to give themselves an opportunity here to generate some points with having a couple in play now that are separated.
Well, and they have a direct path to get at shot rock now too. So they can play the hit and roll in behind cover on the next one. Tirinzoni knows that, but there's not much you can do about that right now. You want to deal with one of these 2 red stones. The question is, which one do you hit? The front one is probably the one that's second shot, but you can't get your shooter to a good spot off that one. Hit the back one, you're going to be behind the tee line. But it is safer. You can certainly make it go away, roll in, and sit second.
Yeah, I think they're looking at that percentage shot right now, as there's just a lot of risk on that top one. So yeah, they're going to take that back one, play it safe, and try to get some kind of roll over towards the middle. Ensure that they're sitting 1 and 2.
Trying to make sure that there are 2 rocks that Penny Barker has to deal with if she's going to bring that one at the top back in.
They like the looks of it all the way down, and they got the nice little hit and roll.
Rolls in just enough to make sure it's second shot. Penny Barker taking a look around the outside. I think she thinks the red is third. I think it is. She's still got 2 yellows she's got to deal with. First shot will be the hit and roll, and I think they're just looking to roll behind cover.
Yeah, they have a couple options here, Sean. The hit and cover to get shot rock in behind a hiding place, or they could have tried to go for the double, but then that would have just left that open. So they're going to go for that hit and roll and see if they can hide one here. There's some hardcore yelling here, which means it's moving on them pretty good. And unfortunately got that rollout, so that's a tough one for Team Barker there, as they really needed to keep that shooter around, and Penny give the sign that the weight was down a little bit of what she expected, so just jumped on him a little bit.
Gives Tirinzoni the opportunity to make a play on the lone redstone in play. That rock that we believe is second shot right now, sitting at the top of the 8 foot. Penny will still have the guard. She can come around with her first and try to set up the deuce she needs for the tie.
With the removal of those other stones, now this is a low risk shot because they don't want to necessarily stick around. They actually will want to just roll this shooter out and just pop it through the middle, which they're successful doing. And now we're running out of hiding spots, so Penny will try her best to get around that yellow corner.
Well, you got one hiding spot. That's really all you need. There's only 3 rocks left to come. If you can hide one, that should give you a chance with your last one to get 2.
Yes, and this is a precise shot. She has to come just into more of the top 4, because if she comes all the way to the tee line, that would leave a very easy in off the current yellow rock there too. So it's just not as easy as just plunking it down there and putting it on the tee line. They actually have to leave it a little bit ahead to avoid that. Just getting some last minute talks and making sure that they know the weight, and I don't think it's been toughening up too much, so the weight should be pretty consistent. And now just go through your routine and throw the draw that you've thrown a million times.
Penny Barker with her first stone here in the 8th end, trailing by 2, needs them to bury this one to have a chance with her final stone to perhaps put us into extra ends.
Well, the sweepers aren't looking at this yet, which means it's a little heavy. They wanted this to curl, but they also were afraid to sweep it just because of the distance of it. And
they wanted to sweep it a little bit to bury, but you can't slide far enough back that your second shot, it does come to rest as shot rock. Maybe nibbling the 8 foot, or maybe nibbling the 4 foot, but still partly in the open. Alina Petz can see enough to go after it. And if she can make this stone go away, she will move her team into the semifinals this afternoon.
not wasting any time in the hack. She knows this shot. Like a very solid release, so they'll watch this very closely.
Got room by the guard, so now sweeping to get a little bit more curl. Just needs to catch this thick enough to make it go away. She will. That runs Penny Barker out of rocks. Silvana Tirinzoni with the 4-2 win here in this quarterfinal on Sunday morning. They move into the semifinal this afternoon. We want to thank everyone for joining us here this morning on CBC Gem and Sasktel Curling Stadium. We apologize for the audio difficulties that we had, and thank you for sticking with us. It was a great match to watch, and there'll be two more, the semifinals this afternoon, finals later on. On behalf of myself, Sean Joyce, and my partner this morning, Jeff Chambers, thanks for watching. We'll see you again for the semifinals.